Welcome, everyone, to Rutgers at the voice of college football. We've got a great show here for you tonight. I'm here, as always, with my fantastic co-host, Gabriel Pickup. And if you like the show, hit that like and subscribe button. So tonight, is a special show because guess what? It's week one of the college football season after a long and seemingly insufferable wait. We've got Thursday night opening game for Rutgers against Ohio. So we're going to have the pick dates as usual. Then we're going to talk about the Ohio game and give our predictions for who comes out on top. But before we do that, just want to show you a short video from the head of this channel, Mark Rogers, at the voice of college football.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the voice of college football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the voice of college football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click Join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
All right, that's from Mark Rogers, the head of the voice of college football. The channel's growing, the audience is growing. It's going to be a really exciting year. So let's start off as we always do. Gabe, you got the updates for us?
Yes, I do. So it's short, but it's basically a bunch of people who got named to things. And I'm going to start off with Ethan Kaliakmanis, 6 days ago, actually. So we posted this on socials, but we're now going to talk about it a little bit. Ethan Kaliakmanis got named to the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award watch list, which is given to the nation's top upperclassman quarterback. And candidates are judged on accomplishments on the field, as well as on their character, scholastic achievement, and leadership qualities.
Congratulations to Ethan. Ethan, let's hope that this is a harbinger of what's going to be a fantastic season that starts on Thursday night against the Bobcats of Ohio.
Yeah. So you might be a little upset after hearing the previous two winners, but the previous two winners, one of them very well deserved, Jaden Daniels. And last year, I think he had a good enough year, but you might not like the selection. It was Shedeur Sanders.
Okay. Well, Jaden Daniels, I saw him play against, I believe it was Alabama. He was incredible. Just a fantastic football player. He's going to have a great career. Shedeur Sanders, I'm not sure about. I'm not going to say he's going to be a bust, but I think that there were potentially some attitude issues that affected his draft stock. But he has talent, so we'll see. But I'm glad you didn't say Drew Aller. Just kidding.
I noticed that you got your background figured out. He was but pre-game or pre-show rather. We were trying to figure out how Adam was going to be back at SHI Stadium because we were having some technical difficulties.
We sure were, but you know what matters is I am here in the great state of New Jersey, where I belong and where I intend to stay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
I have to move back to Georgia for a certain period, but ultimately New Jersey is my home and Rutgers is my team.
Hey, maybe you can drag some more Georgia prospects back up to Piscataway.
I'll see what I can do in Athens.
So, so going back to this, I wanted to go over Ethan's stats. 96 yards passing, 53.9% percentage-wise, 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 251 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. By far his most passing yards and 4 more touchdowns, 2 less interceptions than the year prior. So trajectory-wise, he's definitely on the right path.
Well, when you mention those stats, the one thing that sticks out to me is 53.9% completion.
Yeah.
That's something that was concerning last year. Is it going to get better this year with that wide receiving core and just his growth generally. I think it will. And but I'm not sure how high the ceiling is. So it's going to be exciting to see how he opens the season. I think you're going to see a great game from Ethan and that offense on Thursday night.
I mean, even the 53.9% is still his highest in his collegiate career. I think his previous highest was 53.1, so it's not much higher, but it's still the right trajectory, right? It's like you go to the doctor after 8 months of trying to lose weight and you lost 5 pounds. You still lost 5 pounds. So as long as he can lose 5 more this year, or in this case, get it up to like at least 55, it might not seem like a lot, but that is still a drastic improvement.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's going to depend too on things that we don't necessarily know at this point. What's his relationships like, with his receivers? How are they gelling in practice? How's the timing? How do they, are they feeling each other out well? Do they know each other in a way where they can predict each other's moves? Is he comfortable with the receivers? Is he comfortable with the offensive line? So, completion percentage just isn't on the quarterback. It's a lot of other factors, and I think all that has to come together for us to have a successful season.
Yeah, for sure. And to me, this roster kind of feels like the Moneyball roster of college football. We have a lot of guys that are overlooked by other programs or scouting-wise overlooked, and we get these 3-star recruits, occasional 4-star recruits, and we plug them in roles we know they can perform well in, and I think that's why we will outperform this year.
Can Rutgers be the Boise State from last year? Can Rutgers be the Indiana from last year?
That's, Big Ten adjacent.
SMU.
SMU, yeah. So more naming things. C.J. Campbell, D.T. Sheffield, and Eric O'Neill were named to the Senior Bowl Top 300, and I believe Eric O'Neill was also ranked 83rd in the Top 100.
So C.J. Campbell, Eric O'Neill,
DT,
and DT. DT, I hope you're watching because, we'd love to have you on the show. And I've been saying it all along. This is going to be a huge year for you. And so I'm excited to see what he does for the Scarlet Knights. I think he's going to be their leading wide receiver. He's fast. He's quick. He's elusive. He's mature. He's a leader. I think this is going to be DT's year. As far as C.J. Campbell, all right, now I don't mean anything negative, so I don't want anybody to get upset. But everyone's been anointing C.J. Campbell number 1 running back over Antoine Raymond and the next star running back at Rutgers. Well, C.J., this is nothing personal against you, but I got to see it first before I believe it. And I do hope it happens, but I think people are not as high on Antoine Raymond as they should be.
I hear you. And that's part of what makes me skeptical about C.J. Campbell this year. But on the other hand, if so many people are, like you said, anointing C.J. Campbell the next great Rutgers running back, they clearly are seeing something in practice and scrimmages that they believe in. And that's why I'm excited for Thursday, because all this skepticism that you and I share when it comes to the roster, both positive and negative, we're going to see Thursday night sort of where it lies. Like, we're not going to get the 100%, gist of it, but we're going to sort of get that warm up that, to the season that we need to see before we can really decide anything.
Well, I think in the first game, of course, there's going to be some rust. It's the first game, so there's got to be some allowances for that. But what I'm really looking for is the cohesion on offense, and I'm looking for that defensive line. Are they going to get after Parker Navarro, a dual threat quarterback? Is that defensive line going to be fast, big, and pressure the quarterback? That's, I think, the key to success this year for the Rutgers defense.
Yeah, and more on that in the next segment. The last thing I have here in terms of the pickup dates naming special is Ethan, Dariel Jabome, Jordan Walker, and Gus Zelinskas are named the team captains.
So let me ask you something. I've always wondered this. What does it mean when you're named a team captain? What does that get you?
It gets you.
You talk before the games? What?
I assume, well, for the very least, you speak before the games and after the games, along with the coaches. Everything else, it's really just like coaches will go to you for advice on your unit. And outside of that, it's really just like a term of endearment, like coaches saying they trust you as a leader. It's sort of like you would put it on your resume, kind of. It's like if you were like a chair in a committee.
I say we do away completely with this captain's designation. I'm going to tell you why.
You're a
4
Yankees
captains?
fan.
4?
Yeah.
I mean, there should be 1 captain, and maybe 2. But now you got 4 captains. It dilutes the whole purpose of it. How ridiculous! It's like having 4 presidents. Forget it.
Well, to be fair, there's like president of this, president of that, president of marketing communications, president of business strategy, president of digital media. So like it's kind of like
way too many administrators.
What's that?
Yeah, there's way too many administrators, just like there's way too many captains. But congratulations to those 4.
So who would be your captain then if you wanted to dumb it down to 1 captain?
Ethan Kelly Kmanis.
Okay. I like that. And I'm hoping that those guys who weren't picked but fit the criteria don't get hard feelings about it.
If they get hard feelings about not being chosen captain, it's going to be a very long year because there's going to be a lot more adversity than that. How ridiculous.
But there's a lot of divas in football, and I just hope that none of the guys at Rutgers are under that same sort of mindset. I don't think they are, but like based on what I've heard, videos I've seen, it seems like everyone's gelling well. No one thinks they're above the team.
I think what we don't know about Rutgers, I'm going to take a guess here. I think they have a chip on their shoulder. I think that they know that they're better than a lot of people are predicting. And I think we're going to be in for a surprise.
Yeah, I mean,
not in the first game.
They certainly know they're better than JMU. Ridiculous.
And JMU is ranked ahead of Rutgers. But in a way, it's good. It's good to motivate them, but they shouldn't be motivated by external things. They should be motivated by wanting to be the best and to make Rutgers a national title contender. This year is the year where they have to start building that foundation. And if they come together, they have the talent. So,
yeah. They have the talent, and in my opinion, they have the discipline too. So I'm excited.
We'll see on Thursday night. Don't ruin my Thursday night, Shiano. All right, I'm preparing for a trial right now, and I'm all stressed out. I want to have some fun watching the game. I don't want to see turnovers and injuries and what happened against Illinois last year. No.
So that's the end of the pick updates.
All right, so let's turn to the second segment. And let's turn to a discussion of the game. And I have a surprise prediction on this game, a very shocking prediction.
Okay, do you want to give it now?
Nope.
I'm interested. You want to wait until the end, huh?
I want to wait until the end, yes.
All right. Well, I got you in the meantime with some over-unders from the sports books and some stuff that I've made up too. And I want to hear over or under. So from the sports book, from FanDuel, I should say, they have the over-under total points for this being 46.5. Do you think that goes over or under?
Over.
Over. I think over too. But our defense against Ohio, that it might be the difference maker for that. Because, is Navarro gonna rush for 150 yards, throw for 200, get 5 total touchdowns, or are we gonna contain him and he has 2 total touchdowns?
Well, that's the question. And when AJ Surace tore up that defense in that spring game, it didn't mean we had a bad defense. It means there was a lot to work on. And since then, let's hope that they've come together because they do have great transfers, and I think they've got the hunger, and I think they're going to have a defensive line that's much improved. But your first game against a dual threat quarterback who arguably is prone to mistakes kind of means it's one of those things where it's probably going to be either or. Navarro goes off or Navarro bombs. And I think I'm going to predict exactly what happens. And hopefully I'll be half right and half wrong. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. That is what it comes down to. So sort of on the same page, FanDuel has the spread as us being 14.5-point favorites. Do you think we cover that, or do you think Ohio covers?
Ohio covers.
I agree. I still think we win, but I think we win by like 10. because I think that that Navarro he's gonna be tricky. He's gonna have a good game against us. Jason, you seem to disagree then, huh? 41
Always
to 10.
good to see Jason O here. Jason O has outstanding knowledge of college football and Rutgers, and Jason O predicts 41 to 10 in favor of the Scarlet Knights.
And Jason, I hope one day you take off the Heisenberg mask and come on the show and talk to us, because you seem to know your stuff, man.
Now I'm starting to think about Gus Fring.
Oh my God. Okay, hot take real quick, but Better Call Saul is as good as Breaking Bad.
Yes,
at least as good. You have to watch both before you disagree with me, because a lot of people will disagree without watching.
I will say that I'm an attorney, and Saul gives us a horrible name, just a horrible name.
Yeah, Jimmy's good, but Saul. And anyways, no more spoilers, because that in itself might be. Ethan Kaliakmanis, over under. These are now my stats, my over unders. Over under 2.5 touchdown passes. Wow.
Over.
You think he gets 3, 4,
3?
5?
Yes.
3? Do you think he gets over or under half of a rushing touchdown?
Under.
Okay. So 3 touchdown passes, no rushing touch.
Ethan's not here to run this year.
He is not. That is fair.
Ethan's here to show that he belongs at the NFL Combine. He belongs on a team in the NFL, and to do that, he doesn't. It's not that he has to improve his talent, his arm strength. He's got the skills. He's got to improve his decision making and those intangibles.
That is true. And we have 4 running backs now that can do a little something. We have DT that can run on a wide receiver run. So, yeah, I agree with that, unless it gets to 4th and inches at the goal line.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say Ohio rushes 3 and drops 8. That's what I'm concerned about. They're not going to let those receivers run well. Ohio typically has a solid defense, and they've lost some personnel on defense, certainly, but they're always well coached, and they are going to, present a formidable defense and an offense. So if I were them, I would drop 8 and say, beat us running the ball. And
even though that has been our strategy, right, for several years now, is running the football. Probably since at least since the Mohamed Sanu days.
Yeah, I think what Ohio's going to do is try to slow the game down. They're not going to give up any huge plays. They're not going to, they're going to make us drive the ball down the field. And I think their strategy is going to be to bend but don't break, especially in the red zone.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how we can overcome that. So over or under 1.5 total rushing touchdowns for Rutgers football?
Over.
Do you have a certain breakdown of who scores how many?
I think that CJ Campbell and Antoine Raymond are going to lead the rushing attack, and I think they're going to probably score. I mean, it's hard to predict, but I think they're probably going to have 2 rushing touchdowns. But I just said previously that Kaliakmanis is going to have 3 touchdown passes. So
that's 35 points, and
that's what I'm saying. I don't think we're going to score 35. I'm not confident that we're going to score 35. So I don't think it's compatible to say Ethan throws for 3 and we rush for 2. I think it's going to be more lopsided. Either Ethan's going to throw for 2 and they're going to rush for 2 touchdowns. But if I'm looking at it in isolation, I would say over.
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying like high 20s then, and then high 20s to low 20s is the score.
As my prediction will state, high 20s.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Now this is an important one to me. Ethan Kaliakmanis, over under 0.5 interceptions.
Under.
You don't think he gets one?
I don't think he's going to throw a pick.
I hope. I mean, 7 interceptions last year means he was getting one almost every game statistically. But this is technically one of the easier games of the year.
Well, his interceptions 7 interceptions on the whole year is relatively low, and I think his decision making is going to be improved, and I think that he's coming in ready for this game, and so is the team. I think with the running backs that he has and with the wide receivers that he has, I don't think we're going to see him make any alarmingly bad decisions. What I'm going to be focused on is his completion rate.
So you're hoping for at least, because this is one of the technically easier games of the year, you're hoping for 70-ish%, right?
I could live with 60. I could live with a minimum of 60.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so this is another one that's important to me. Over or under 78.5 Parker Navarro rushing yards allowed?
Over.
You think it reaches 3 digits maybe?
Yes.
Oh, man. That would be the killer.
Well, it only takes one long run to distort the statistics. And I think Rutgers is probably going to give up, like any team would, a few big plays in the game. And I think one or two of those big plays is going to come with Navarro on the ground. Now, does that mean he's going to run consistently over the Rutgers defense? No, I don't think he will.
Well, the thing is with quarterbacks, a lot of those breakout runs don't really happen. It's really like they run back in the pocket, they see nothing, they run 10 yards, or they do a RPO and then run up the middle, get 8. It's kind of like that, at least with the scrambling quarterbacks. So it's like they will get those long runs, but you really don't see it as much as with like running backs per se.
No, but I think Rutgers, I think they're going to have a couple of busts, a couple of growing pains. It's a lot of new personnel on defense, a lot of transfers. I think there's going to be some growing pains in the first game.
Well, there will be some lapses of judgment in week 1 for sure. So hopefully that comes with the Ohio offensive line having lapses of judgment, because my last over-under for this is over-under 1.5 Eric O'Neal sacks.
Over.
And it's a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, but I think that Rutgers' defensive line is going to get pressure at the right times, and I think they're going to get to the quarterback, and I think Eric O'Neal is going to have 2 or 3 sacks. And possibly a 4th fumble.
Over under 4.5 team sacks. If you're saying Eric O'Neal is getting 2 or 3.
Given that he's a mobile quarterback, I would say over.
Oh my gosh. All right. Hot takes. Let's see. I got over 46.5. I agree with you there. I agree with that we don't cover the spread. Ethan over under 2.5 touchdown passes. I think he'll get 2. And then we'll get 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns. I could see CJ getting 2 of them and Ethan getting a sneaky one. That's sort of how I predict that'll happen.
How about this? Over under DT Sheffield, 1.5 touchdown receptions.
Oh, 1.5. I think he'll certainly get 1. But the thing is, like, everyone knows he's good. He's one of the rare guys on our team that like everyone actually like respects. So I might have to go the under.
I'm going to be really, really interested to see how they scheme up the offense.
I'm saying he gets 1. I'm saying he gets 1. He gets like his 80 to 90 yards, 6-ish receptions.
Yeah,
like he'll be the guy, but I don't think he'll have like a Calvin Johnson type game.
Will there be a surprise breakout star for Rutgers that we really haven't been talking about?
Well, I've been talking about him, but not many other people have. I think Colin Weber has a great game week 1.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, the tight end position. We're going to see how that plays out.
I mean, and when I say great, I'm saying like 4 catches, 42 yards, and a touchdown. Like that is great, especially for a tight end too.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how they attack the Ohio defense. I suspect, but I can't, I'm not a football coach, but I suspect that Ohio is really going to sell out to stop Ethan from, throwing for over 300 yards. I think they're going to drop 8 often. And so I think that you're going to see a lot of the typical run first defense and then set up play action. But I do think there's going to be some big plays.
So you're saying deep zone?
I'm saying what?
Deep zone? Because if it's a run first defense, you have to anticipate running out wide, right?
Yeah, what I was saying was I think that Rutgers is still going to have its run first offense. That's what I meant. Like I think they're going to attack Ohio on the ground, but it depends because it's impossible to necessarily know. It depends on the scheme that they face and the weaknesses that, based on film, they think they can exploit. But I think ultimately, Ohio's going to focus on challenging them to beat them on the ground and not let them beat them with the pass.
Yeah, I concur with that. Ethan, over under half an interception. I am going to say under there. I'm saying he might have some mistakes, but Ohio's not going to catch those mistakes.
Over under Ethan Kaliakmanis, 250 yards passing.
250. I'm saying under, and that's because I think that we'll have to manage the second half by running the ball a ton because we'll be up 1 to 2 touchdowns, right? And we'll have to maintain the lead. We won't be sending in our bench unit, but you get those passing yards either by having 250 in the first half or you're trailing or it's close.
Yeah.
So I'm saying we're going to have to run the ball.
I could see him going like 18 of 29 for 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
The no interceptions, and that's very important to me because this is supposedly one of our easier games, right? So this, Miami of Ohio, Norfolk State, we've got to be 3-0, and we've got to be 3-0 convincingly.
We have to be 3-0 going into Iowa, but I don't think this is going to be an easy game.
No, this is going to be the toughest of the first 3, I think.
Yeah.
And lastly, for my own
I am predicting that we will lose to Norfolk State's band.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where that sentence was going. You think they're going to at least sing us out?
That's all they're going to do if they do that.
They're going to sing It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday.
They're going to sing We Are the Champions, not.
I think Eric O'Neal has 3 sacks this game.
I agree with you.
I say the over. I say the over for the 1.5. And I think Eric O'Neal, he's going to flirt with like high teens sacks this year. Like,
yeah,
okay, that sounds crazy out of context. He's going to have like 18 or 19 sacks on the quarterback. Nobody clip that at home, please.
Well, he's been great wherever he's gone. He's a critical piece of that Rutgers defensive line. And then we're also going to – it's going to be interesting to see our friend Cam Miller from Penn State, Jet Elad from UNLV. How's that secondary going to play? I think what I predict is going to happen is that Parker Navarro will have his moments, but he will not be consistent because of that defense.
I mean, there's no one else on the offense that can catch the football, run the football, throw the football that we have to worry about. It's literally just Navarro. Barring any unforeseen breakout year, he is their guy.
All right, so over under Rutgers defense, 2 turnovers.
I'm going to say we would get fumbles. So I'm going to say under. I'm going to say we force some loose balls, but we recover one, and it's going to be a key one in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think that teams like Ohio, they're the kind of teams where you can't take them lightly because they're going to compete with you, but they're going to make mistakes too, and they're not going to show the kind of consistency. But I think we're going to be in for some surprises on Thursday nights, and I think it's going to be much closer than the experts think, as they say.
Yes. And going back to my pickup dates, when I was mentioning the captains, I also wanted to point this out. Jordan Walker, who had a solid year last year, now he's in the second unit behind Bradley Weaver. He is one of the team captains. And to me, that shows that it's like a pun. He's a junior, but it shows his seniority in the Rutgers locker room, that they trust him to sort of call out schemes and plays that are working and aren't working. I mean, how often is it that a second string guy is one of the captains of the team? Especially
that means the players respect him, and he's a really, really good leader. And that's the kind of thing that we need. So
I mean, also, like, if Weaver goes down, Eric O'Neill goes down, Denagohi goes down, Douglas Eli, he's going to be the first in no matter what position it is out of the front four. Like, he is the fifth starter of the front four.
Well, yeah, I agree. So this discussion kind of brings us, Gabe, to what is the key to victory for Rutgers on Thursday evening?
Being careful on the offense. We can't be comfortable. We can't pretend that Ohio, that these Bobcats are like just another team. They won 7 in a row and went 11-3 last year. And just because they might be a one-man offense doesn't mean that one man can't be Superman on Thursday. So we need to channel in on sort of like when it comes to stars, a lot of people will say, let them be them, stop everybody else. F that. We got to stop Parker Navarro. That is the key, in my opinion, on defense. On offense, like I said, be careful. But on defense, we have to stop Navarro.
Yeah, we have to stop him. I think the key, for me at least, is you got to win the physicality battle, which they should. And that's where they have the advantage. So this leads us into our final question. What is the score prediction?
And if you have a score prediction at home too, definitely type it in the chat. And Jason and Austin already gave theirs. Caden said 24 at least. We'd love to hear it at home. I'm gonna say, let's see. I said over 46.5, and I said Ohio covers, but we win. I'm gonna say it should be around 27-20. Rutgers.
I think that's a great prediction. I think Rutgers in this game is going to show a little bit of everything. They're going to show great potential in the passing game and the running game with CJ, Antoine, Jashawn, and they're going to show moments where the defensive line is dominant, but they're also going to show some flashes of what happened last year where they just didn't, times when they make mistakes. So I think it's going to be a lot of good, but a lot of stuff to work on. So I think Ohio's going to come out and make it competitive, but I think Rutgers wins it in the fourth quarter, 27-23.
27-23, very similar. And to be more specific, I believe that we're going to be up 27-13 until the last minute, and they're going to score a touchdown, and then they're not going to get the ball back, and we're going to win that way.
One dark.
Sorry. It's going to be one of those games where people are sweating out the spread because it's 14.5, but Ohio at the last second is going to make sure that they cover the spread. So all you bettors at home, just keep that in mind.
Well, one dark horse prediction. It could go to overtime.
Oh, man, I hope not. I don't want to sweat that much for first game.
I know, right? Well, that ends our show for today. What I'll say is this. Now is the time to get focused and supportive of Rutgers football and help this team become great this year. It certainly is a possibility. And we're going to have a special show Friday morning at 10 a.m., post-game show, analyzing the Ohio game and the upcoming game against Miami. So be here, 10 a.m. Friday. And going
your
forward, we'll always have post game immediately after the game.
Yeah.
So Friday at 10 a.m. Then we'll be back here next Monday at 7 p.m. And then going forward from there, we'll have our post game show right after the game. Any final thoughts?
This is how it's going to be, folks. Post game, we're going to give our raw, honest, emotional reactions. It could take 5 minutes if it's a blowout that doesn't need talking much. It could take 2 or 3 hours because those are the shows that you get to call in. You get to rage bait us. You get to celebrate with us or celebrate against us. And those are going to be the fun shows. Mondays, we're going to be previewing the following week, and you guys get to give your input too. But definitely tune into these post-game shows. You do not want to miss them. You don't want to miss Adam Lamparello's blood pressure skyrocketing. And you don't want to miss me trying to cool him down while also grilling this team with some sense or celebrating their victories.
Yeah, and these post-game shows, we're going to want to hear from you. But let's get excited. College football is finally here. So we will see you Friday, 10 a.m., to discuss the Ohio game. And let's hope we come out with a W. Go Scarlet Knights. We will see you on Friday.
Adios, amigos.